Alright, what's up, people? So, apparently there was some game showcase today, and I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it until I opened up YouTube. 5 people that I'm subbed to were like doing fucking live streams of this bullshit. This is why people fucking hate on me all the time for saying that shit, but I fucking wish I miss when it was just E3 around and there wasn't all these stupid fucking game showcases that have almost nothing. There's like 15 different game showcases a year and like half of them aren't even worth a shit. I don't know, man. I'm tired. I don't like it. I never liked it. I've always preferred everything to just be, even if it sucks, which, I mean, E3 did a lot. I mean, at least it was something to like tune into to get news, like, and everybody knew about it. I didn't know about this fucking Microsoft bullshit until today, and I didn't know about Summer Games Fest crap until it was over, because I go on like gaming Reddits and Twitter and all the time and shit, and I still don't see it until it's like happening. But whatever. I got some games listed here. I'm not gonna go through every single game that they showed because it's fucking long and arduous, and I don't give a shit about a lot of these. But I thought that I did have enough opinions about some of the stuff on here. And if you see me looking down, that's because I have my phone. I have all this shit wrote down. With Hollow Knight Silksong, they didn't show that much. They just showed a little bit of gameplay, but I mean, I'm glad to see more of it. I actually really like Hollow Knight. I have, I think, like 80 hours in the original one. I never fully beat it because there's a arena challenge near the end of the game that's just fucking ridiculous. I'm usually not into platformers, like, at all. They're kind of a genre that I'm just not into. But I do make an exception for Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight, it looks really cool, it's fun to play, it's hard. Most of the problems I have with platformers are just because they're too fucking easy most of the time. And Hollow Knight was, like I said, I never fully beat it, because it is very challenging, especially near the end of the game. There's this fucking optional dungeon that's ridiculous. Pretty fun game. I've been waiting for this for a while. I like what they did before. I'm probably going to enjoy it. Still no release date. Kind of annoying. We've been waiting for like how fucking long now? 4 years? Whatever, take time. Don't rush it out. When it comes out, I'm sure it'll be good. So take the time you need. I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad to see they're still working on it, because it's the first we've seen from it for a while. So, alright, Diablo 4, I don't really care about. I don't really like hack and slash games. But I included this because this kind of plays into something I'm going to mention later. In fact, I'll just mention it right now. This game and a lot of these other games, I don't like to focus on multiplayer shit. I know that's just a me thing. I know it's fucking my antisocial self. I just don't like playing with other people most of the time. The majority of the time, I just don't like doing it. I don't like, well, this guy's game's not working, so we gotta wait for him to fix his settings, and now this guy's game's not working, and he's gotta reinstall his game, so now we're waiting on him, and we can't play, because then we're gonna be ahead of where he's supposed to be, and over leveled. Well, then now this person has to get off for the night, so now I don't like dealing with that. I don't like working around other people's schedules. I don't like working with other people's problems that they deal with. I don't like having my own problems come up and my shit not working, and then other people getting pissed off at me because my game isn't working. So I'm just not a big fan of multiplayer games in general. And most of the games that I play, like, I have friends that play games, but they don't play any of the games I play. I don't have any friends to play these kind of games with. It's just not a big thing, and I noticed it was a big focus. And it's been a big focus, and it's so they can sell these stupid loot boxes, and they can keep online games going for longer, and it's just stupid. I hate it. I hate the way that it's going. I know it's a cliche thing to say that, like, single-player games are dying. I don't think they are. I think that's stupid. I just think that we do get a lot less of them than we used. Well, obviously, we didn't always have multiplayer, but as more people have gotten internet, we've gotten more and more games focused and built around multiplayer, and it's a downer for me personally, because I'm not into that kind of shit. We just had Elden Ring. There's plenty of single player games that come out. There's even some on this list that I'll mention that are single player that look decent. Arc 2 is the same thing. It's just more multiplayer stuff, but I mean, I guess it has dinosaurs, so I guess, and that might actually be something the friends that I have that play games might play, maybe. But I don't really dig survival games. I think most of them are bad. I mean, there's some exceptions, like Minecraft's okay, I guess. Terraria is really good. It's like a 2D one. That one's old. I guess I saw someone on Reddit say that RimWorld was a survival game. I don't really disagree, or I don't really agree, but I guess I'm just not into survival games, dude. I think most of them are boring and formulaic and generic, and yeah. But I mean, hey, I know Ark had a big fan base, so I guess a lot of people go nuts for that. It was enough for me to think I should mention it. Overwatch 2 is more of the same. You see what I'm saying? Like, all these games are fucking, they're not just, like, included multiplayer. They're built around multiplayer. That's what I mean. Like, I don't like this fucking direction that, I just hate it. I hate the multiplayer shit. And it's for games like Overwatch, so they can sell these stupid, dumbass, fucking cosmetic garbage and loot boxes, and they get fucking people hooked on loot boxes and popping fucking boxes and packs on streams, and it's just stupid. I hate it. I try not to be negative, but I just have to put my 2 cents in, and I know it's a me thing. I know it's something that Jesus Christ, I hope that was fucking, that might have been recording wrong. Oh well. I'm leaving it in, because I'm not fucking re-recording that shit. Scorn is one of the ones, that one looks good, but I like the design, I like the visuals, but I read online it's gonna be like a mostly puzzle game, and I'm not really into puzzles like at all. I think the only puzzle games I've ever actually enjoyed was the Portal games. Tetris. That's about it. Puzzle games, I know this is gonna make me sound like literally retarded, and I know it is, and that's why I hate playing these fucking things, but I can never get them. I sit at the same puzzle for fucking 2 hours until I get stumped. I look it up, and then I'm just like, how the fuck was I supposed to figure that out? And I feel stupid every single time. I feel stupid. The only one that hasn't made me feel stupid after playing it is Portal. Every puzzle game, without fail, it'll be some stupid object that's small that you didn't even know that you could pick up in the corner of the room, and you gotta use it to interact with some other fucking object that you would never think to fucking do, or you have to fucking find some secret passage in a way that you never think to do it, or it's just stupid. So I'm not really a big fan of puzzle games usually. In fact, almost ever. So I was interested in this until then. I'm still interested in it. I mean, I think most of these are going to be on Game Pass, so if it's on Game Pass, I'll try it. But because it does look interesting enough to try. I like the look of it. It has a really interesting aesthetic. So, and that alone, I think, is in today's day and age is good enough to at least try. For all you car people, I almost said something else. It's out there. I have friends that are obsessed with this fucking game. I don't understand it. I guess they're car people. They love this shit. I'm not a car person. And it just frustrates me every time I see it. Because the friends I talked about earlier that play games, yeah, this is what they play. They barely ever play anything else. So, and it sucks. And I get fucking tired of it. Because I don't like racing games either. Puzzle games and racing games I just don't like. But, I mean, it's here. I guess they're doing some more content packs or something. So if you're into that shit, it's there. This game, Flintlock, they showed some game called Flintlock. And that one, you play as like this black chick with a pistol and like knives or something. Or I think it was like a dagger. And like it's like this third person. I'm typically not a big fan of third person games either. But this one looks like really like action. Like it looks like it's really fast paced and there's like a lot of action and stuff to it. So I might get into it. I'll give it a try. It looks pretty decent. I mean, it doesn't look great. I'd have to see more of it. I mean, obviously, it's a cut-up trailer, and they're going to cut up the most interesting parts. But I want to see, like, if it's slower, I probably won't like it. But I tend to like, if you're going to go, when it comes to, like, shooters, especially third-person shooters, and first-person shooters, actually, I tend to like faster gameplay more tactical stuff. So, if I want to use tactics, I usually play, like, strategy games or something. I'll play Stellaris, or I'll play, like, Civilization or something. Well, something like that. Don't typically play action games. This game called Cocoon. This game looks interesting. I don't know if I would actually spend money on it because it looks very puzzle based, just like Scorn is apparently. It's actually just like Scorn, but not at all. Completely different tonally and aesthetically, and in pretty much every other way. But they're both puzzle games. They both are puzzle games that have an interesting aesthetic and a cool tone that they set. And I guess I'll have my eye on them because I like the way they look. And like I said, in this day and age, like it seems like a lot of games that come out nowadays look the exact fucking same, and I get real tired of it. So it looks interesting. We'll try it, but if it makes me feel stupid like most puzzle games do, I'll hate it. The last case of Benedict Fox. This one looks really good. I actually might try this one. Again, I'm usually not into platformers, but I am into them more than puzzle games and racing games typically, because I can at least enjoy them. And this one looks good. This one has a good aesthetic, it looks like it plays pretty good. It looks really fun to play. It looks creative. It looks like it's going for some kind of Cthulhu mythos mixed with like maybe a Castlevania or something. Like I don't know if it's a Metroidvania. I kind of got that vibe from it. There's definitely some platforming and shooting and stuff. That's a really good combination. Like I just really like the way this looks. And there's some Cthulhu games out there, but I mean, more Cthulhu games is never a bad thing in my book. So definitely, probably one of the highlights of the show for me too. This is probably second favorite game they showed actually, because this one I might buy it on release depending on how the reviews are and if it's broken or not. Seems like nowadays it's a common thing. It's just expected that shit's broken on release, but that's another topic for another day. We got High on Life. This is I guess it's a Rick and Morty shooter. It's not actually a Rick and Morty shooter. It's got the fucking trademark Justin Roiland voice, and it looks like it's got the trademark humor, and that humor's kind of hit or miss for me. I mean, I do like Rick and Morty. I know that's gonna be a risk fucking getting eviscerated in the comments saying that, and people call me an even bigger loser than I am a loser. I accept it, so you can't hurt me. It's kind of hit or miss for me. I do like most of Rick and Morty. Some episodes I don't like, but I'll try it out. I'll give it a try. See if it works with me. Because I did watch that other show that Justin Roiland did, and I didn't really like it too much. So again, I may not like it. It wasn't that funny from the trailer, but I mean, there could be some jokes in there. I don't know. It looks at least like it plays alright. It looks like it might be fun to play, if nothing else. So we'll see. It doesn't look too bad. I know people are probably going to hate it. There's probably going to be a lot of people saying it looks stupid and dumb. But look, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, I don't like it all the time either, like I said. But sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I enjoy it, so... Alright, so we got Redfall. I guess this is like Left 4 Dead, but instead of zombies, it's vampires. I guess you're going through, and it's another 4-player co-op shooter, another online fucking focused bunch of shit that I don't like. But I mean, for what it is, it looks fun. I mean, it probably is fun. The shooting looks decent. The enemies look, at least it's unique. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of vampire games out there. Not a lot of good vampire games out there either. In fact, the amount of good vampire games I could probably count on one hand. But for what it is, it looks alright. Like I said, I'm not typically into the co-op shooter bullshit. I like shooters, but I don't like co-op shooters. I don't like, well shit, my team sucks, so I can't beat this fucking level. But for what's there looks fun, so, and at least it's something unique. And I mean, the gameplay's not unique. I mean, like I said, it's just Left 4 Dead with fucking vampires instead of zombies. Big whoop. Down to the fucking heroes, how they all have their own special abilities because they're specialists. They're heroes from Overwatch, specialists from Battlefield, whatever the fuck you want to call them. It's that same stupid shit. And it looks like it's geared up. I think that I even saw a screen where there was like purple weapons and green weapons. So they're gearing it up for drops and loot boxes probably and shit. It's a multiplayer game, and usually these kinds of things have that kind of garbage in them. So, but hey, it's there. I hope they don't do it, because I know this type of game, there's a lot of people that like it. They like playing with other people, and they like doing this. So I do hope for the best, because like I said, it's unique at least in terms of its aesthetics and the goal, and it's a vampire game. I guess that's really the only thing unique about it. But I hope it's good, because we could always use more games. But my confidence is not high, and it's not really a game I'd be into anyway. Aura History Untold. There's nothing, no gameplay. But what it looks like it's a Civilization clone, which I'm all for. That is not in any way a bad thing, because we only have one Civilization clone that is even somewhat in the vein of what Civilization does, and it's not very good. I haven't played it, but from what I hear, it's not very good. I think it was called Humankind was the name of that one. But I mean, I want to see more. I love strategy. I love the Civ building stuff, obviously. But I'm always in the market for more strategy games, more 4X games, all that shit. So I have my eye on it. Definitely use more. Dusk Falls. This one, it looks like shit. I guess it's a unique art style, but it's not one that I like at all. It's like stop motion mixed with photo stills. Not photo stills, like drawn stills. And it's some narrative branching game, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand games like this, dude. If you're like watch a movie, I guess it's choose your own adventure, but like I just don't understand why you don't have at least some gameplay in there. I mean, even the Telltale games like Quick Time Events, and those weren't very good either in my opinion, but something, man. I just don't like just watching stuff and then it's about as interactive as a fucking menu screen on a DVD. It's not my thing. And it doesn't even look that good, like I said. But hey, I mean, maybe someone likes it. Maybe I shouldn't shit on their stuff. Next game though, Pentiment. This game looks like complete and total shit. I don't know who the fuck but there's a lot of excitement for this. I know this one is apparently like Disco Elysium inspired. I just read. It sucks because I don't understand. Why do these games have to force you into fucking roles? I don't want to be forced to fucking be a goddamn cop. I don't want to be forced to fucking... I guess this is another fucking murder mystery. I don't want to be forced to do that shit. Why are they like historical accurate settings? I don't like that either. I don't like historical settings. It's boring. I like history. I like studying history that actually happened. But like, if you're gonna make a fantasy world, make a fucking fantasy world. History's already there. It already happened. And nothing you make in your historical game is gonna be as interesting as what actually happened on our actual Earth. So, and this doesn't, it just looks like it's boring, it's droll. Probably it's a lot of cool choice and consequence stuff, which I really love, but I can't get into this kind of stuff. And it looks like shit. It looks like a fucking Flash game, dude. I'm not even kidding. It looks like them fucking bullshit games that you'd play on your fucking lunch break when you were at school, or at least we would. I don't know, man. It just looks bad. It looks bad. But there's a lot of excitement for it. I can't get over the art style, and I can't get over the setting. And I'm kind of salty about it, because if I could, I'd probably fucking enjoy it a lot. And last but not least, I saved this for last on purpose, because this I have probably the most to say about. Because I'm a big RPG guy, and I'm a big Bethesda guy. I've probably played more games from that studio than any other. If you don't count like RimWorld, I've probably spent more time in their games than anyone else. Stellaris would be close because I've played a lot of that too. I'm a big, massive Fallout fan. I'm a big, massive Elder Scrolls fan. I have been for a very long time. Fallout 3 was actually my very first open world RPG, so Bethesda definitely, even with their fuck-ups in recent years, and I haven't played through those for various reasons that I won't get into here, I still really enjoy their games. So, and I was interested to see what Starfield had to show, because, I mean, we haven't seen much about it. It's supposedly coming out next year, and they've shown next to nothing, and all we know is it's going to be the typical Bethesda-style shit, which is kind of its own thing. At this point, it doesn't look like they're deviating from that formula too much here, which they didn't really expect them to. They don't really have to. But anyway, yeah, I'm a big Bethesda guy. I have mixed feelings on it. There's some parts of this that I really, really fucking thought was badass, and there was other parts of it that I didn't particularly enjoy, or it didn't inspire much confidence. So they showed like this open world city. And it looks a lot better than the cities they've had in previous Bethesda games. They actually learned to put more than 2 NPCs, it looks like, in there, so that's nice. I mean, obviously they can't go as in-depth as an actual city, but I'm hoping it's pretty detailed and it's better than their previous work. Their previous work has aged, so yeah, Bethesda have usually been pretty good at, like, making these hub... They've been good at making these hub areas, but they've kind of felt lifeless because they don't know how to populate them with NPCs, and the NPCs the AI is bad, so they kind of bug out a lot and do weird shit. Hoping they worked on that, but I mean, it looks cool. It looks like a cool area to explore. Then it shows them going to this planet and I guess taking out this base, which it looks like your typical dungeon crawling Bethesda fare. He goes into this area. There's enemies. There's some loot to pick up. It shows them they even managed to put lockpicking in here, even though it's supposedly the far future. Of course, there's still locks to pick. Yeah, whatever. I guess that's a Bethesda quirk at this point. There's got to be lockpicks. But yeah, it looks typical. The thing that worries me, the gunplay doesn't look that great. Doesn't look that impactful, which is weird because the gunplay in Fallout 4, the actual leveling and character building and shit like that in Fallout 4 was garbage. But the actual gunplay itself was like not bad. Or the actual gunplay itself was actually pretty good. Like it felt good. There was different modifications you could use. The guns had good kick to them. It felt like you were hitting them as long as you weren't playing with bullet sponge enemy difficulty. It's still fun. And this didn't look nearly as good as Fallout 4's gunplay, but the graphics did look a lot better. I haven't mentioned that yet. The graphics looked a lot better than Fallout 4, but the gunplay just doesn't look like it feels as good. Like, I was watching somebody online do like a stream of it, and I think they hit the nail on the head when they said it needs more recoil. It needs more recoil. It needs better sound. It needs to be polished some more. The AI doesn't look too great either. Like it looks pretty bad still. It doesn't look like it's much of an improvement of the previous games, which don't have good AI either. It's actually pretty bad AI, which annoys me. Bethesda's another one of those companies that continue to release games with just fucking abysmal AI, and I don't know how the fuck Halo does it 20 years ago, because I just got done with that video, and these fucking people can't do it. Whatever. So it looks like your standard Bethesda fare. I did a lot of complaining. Even after this, I would still buy it. I know it's horrible, but look, I like the kind of games that Bethesda typically makes, or were making, or were interested in making up until around 2016 or so. And then they fucking went all into this stupid fucking MMO bullshit, which again bleeds back into what I was saying earlier. Everything has to be fucking multiplayer now and online and trash. It's a typical Bethesda RPG, single player, with factions, and hopefully interesting factions, quest lines, and I could choose my way through the world, and it's an open world like Bethesda world, because they do open worlds really well, if nothing else. That I can actually impact with my choices, unlike a stupid fucking MMO where I can't have any fucking impact on the world because the world has to be static for everybody. So I was already in, despite my complaints. It's another Bethesda game, and even a mediocre Bethesda game is still shit. I put almost 100 hours into Fallout 4, and that game is not that great at all. But it's a fucking Bethesda game, and it's still fucking fun enough to play to get lost in. Bethesda just has a way with their shit that they can do that with me. I don't know. Obviously, for a lot of other people too, they're one of the biggest game companies in the world now, I think. But then they showed this ship well, yeah, it was a ship customization. Now, I was skeptical about this because I don't like the base building that shit that they've done. They tried it in Fallout 4. I didn't really like it there for more than one reason, and another reason we'll get into in just a little bit. They have base customization. You can make your own bases. I probably won't spend a lot of my time doing that if I don't have to. Not what I play Bethesda games for. If I want to build like a base, I'll play like RimWorld, or I'll play like some actual like building game. I won't play a fucking RPG or an action game, action RPG, whatever you want to call these games. But they showed the ship customization. I say that, but then they showed the ship customization, and that looks fucking badass. It's modular, so you can like stick pieces on to different parts, and you can make. It reminds me of like a more limited Spore. If you ever played Spore, this is a game, really old game. I think that game's 15 years old at this point. But I had like a ship customization thing in there where you could create your own ships. This looks like a modular like Lego version of that, and this looks really fucking cool. I think you can add like furniture and shit to like the interior of your ship too, because it showed them like walking by where there was like a hot air hockey table or like a pool table or something to the side, and there was like a bar to the other side. If you could like customize like your ship and stuff with furniture like that, and the outside like they were showing, and get like different guns and different engines, and it actually has different effects on how it flies and stuff, that would be fucking cool. This was actually the first time I was like, okay, that actually looks interesting and like an improvement. That looks fucking cool. And then they showed, and I thought, okay, well, they have this, it's clear, it'll probably just be for aesthetics. I mean, it's still cool that it's there. But if they let you customize they let you customize your houses in Elder Scrolls or Fallout, if they let you customize it like that, then I'm still game. That's still really cool. But then they show you go into space, and this was fucking cool. Now, I like dogfighting. I've always liked dogfighting. I don't think we get enough fucking dogfighting in games. And this looked really fucking cool. It's weird because, like, the gunplay and shit in space sounds way better than the actual, like, gunplay that from the actual guns they were using on the moon or whatever they went to. It's fucking weird. The sound's really cool. It looks like it's engaging. The HUD looks really cool. Like, it showed the HUD and there was, like, shit, like, all over the screen, like different bars and status messages and things, which people might think it's cluttered. It'd be really cool too if you could customize that interface. Oh baby, that'd be so fucking cool. But yeah, it just looks really neat, and we don't get enough dogfighting like that, especially space dogfighting in games. So I'm definitely all on board for that. That was the first part, combined with the ship customization, that got me like legitimately excited for this. And then they said, and this worried me, and this probably excited a lot of people, but it worried me because they said, oh well, you can go to all these planets in this solar system. There's 5 planets here, and then if you zoom out, you can go to over 1,000 different planets and in dozens of different star systems. And that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. I'm thinking it's got to be procedural, or at least it's got to be somewhat procedural. I imagine there's probably going to be, some areas that they handcraft, but it has to be procedural, right? Procedural has its issues. No Man's Sky has shown kind of some of the issues that some people have with procedural planet generation. That being said, the planets they did visit here, I mean, they looked neat visually. Here's what I'm worried about, and this really fucking worries me because this plays right into the route that Bethesda have been going down these past few years. I am really worried that they're only going to have 3 or 4 areas in the entire game that are like handcrafted and that have people living there and quest givers there and faction bases and stuff like that. I'm really worried that there's only going to be around like half a dozen of those or something, and the rest of it's just going to be barren, and they're going to use the excuse of just make your own bases, create your own fun, just like fucking Fallout 76, all that other bullshit. I know Elder Scrolls Online does the whole base building thing, but Fallout 4 did that to an extent as well, where that was one of the big problems I had with Fallout 4 is when you think about that game, there's only like 4 or 5 like actual settlements that are interesting and memorable that have NPCs in them. There's Diamond City, there's Good Neighbor, there's the Brotherhood of Steel Zeppelin, the Institute, and then there's Bunker Hill, if you even really want to count that. The rest of it's just mostly empty, abandoned houses. That's it. And when you think about like the older Bethesda games, like if you take Fallout 3, one of my favorite games of all time, I know people are gonna disagree, but like I said earlier, it was my first open world RPG that's always going to happen. But even with that game, and people don't like that as much as New Vegas, you had Megaton, and then you had Rivet City, you had the Republic of Dave, you had Andale, I think it was Girder Shade, it was the Nuka-Cola place, the tunnels that the vampires hid in, you had Tenpenny Tower, you had the GNR radio station. Like, you had so many places that were interesting and had quest givers in them, and they were handcrafted because you couldn't build shit. What was in there was there. And since they put this stupid settlement building shit in, they've been leaning harder and harder onto, well, we don't actually have to handcraft these areas and put thought and effort into creating actual interesting areas to explore and find out about with interesting NPCs, because we'll just have them make the bases and fuck NPCs. Just like Fallout 76, and I'm really hoping they don't lean into that. I'm really hoping there's more than 4 or 5 interesting locations and handcrafted locations in the entire game that you can go to and explore, and that are actually interesting and dynamic and can change based on what happens in the game world, because that worries me, because they're going to be doing some kind of procedural generation. They can't handcraft everything, and I wouldn't expect them to. If they have enough handcrafted areas and handcrafted quest lines that aren't just Radiant bullshit, stuff they put actual thought and effort into, I think this will be really fucking good. I think this will be a proper return to form since Skyrim. Or it'll be the best game that they've released since Skyrim, at least to me. If they actually do that and put a lot of thought and effort into this world that they're creating, and don't just players make the basis, because they can't rely on the MMO bullshit with this, because it's a single player game. So, but then again, so was Fallout 4, and they try to do it there, but I'm hoping they learned. I really do. And again, I know some people like the settlement building. I'm not hating. If you like it, you like it, but it's not a substitute for actual handcrafted locations with actual quest lines and NPCs walking around, and all, well, crafted NPCs, not just generic settler or farmer or whatever citizen. It's not the same, and I think even the fans that like the settlement building stuff would agree with me on that. So cautiously optimistic in total, even if the gunplay's mediocre and it's just fucking Skyrim / Fallout in space with different leveling system. I'm still on board. I just hope that they don't disappoint. I hope it's really good. But yeah, those are my thoughts overall on the, what the fuck was this, Microsoft Bethesda conference, whatever the fuck they're calling these goddamn things nowadays. Well, it wasn't great. There wasn't that much, but at least they showed some games that look cool. It was mostly indie stuff, but I mean, most AAA games that release are either multiplayer focused, so I don't give a shit about them, or they come out broken on release and I gotta wait to play them anyway, or they're just fucking bad. They're disappointments, like fucking, even the ones I haven't played, because usually if I hear a game is bad, I won't play it. So fuck, well, Cyberpunk I played, that I got fucking suckered into. Fucking stupid bullshit 10-year hype campaign. But there's that game, there's fucking Deathloop, which I haven't played, but I heard wasn't that great. There's the Avengers game, remember that? That Square Enix bullshit, that was bad, yeah. That was a AAA. Anthem, yeah, remember that? Yeah, no one, BioWare would rather you not remember it either, because that was a complete fucking farce. So, yeah, my point is that, well, a lot of AAA games are in that third category as well, where they're just disappointing. So, either way, cautiously optimistic about some of the games I've seen here. It wasn't the greatest showcase, but I mean, there was a lot of stuff here, so I'm sure there was something for everybody. It was alright. So, those are just my thoughts on the game showcase. Let me know your thoughts down below in the description. Let me know if I'm full of shit and I just don't know what I'm talking about, and I need to quit making these videos. Or you could dislike my video too. Or if you actually, for some reason, you like this fucking piece of shit video, you could click the upvote button and also subscribe too. That would also make my day. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. This has been Faded Zephyr, signing out.